Right now, 60% of your brain is running a con on you, not metaphorically, scientifically. Studies show that up to 60% of your daily choices are driven by subconscious biases you didn't choose and can't easily see. Every meal, every purchase, every opinion you think you formed on your own, most of it was already decided before your conscious mind even showed up to the meeting. That's not philosophy, that's neuroscience, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. Let's start with how decisions actually get made. Nobel Prize winner Daniel Kahneman spent decades proving that your brain runs on two systems. System 1 is fast, automatic, emotional. System 2 is slow, logical, deliberate. Here's the problem. System 1 is in charge most of the time. It's making snap judgments based on shortcuts called heuristics, and those shortcuts, they're riddled with errors. Your brain isn't built for accuracy, it's built for speed, and speed has a price. One of the biggest lies your brain tells you is called confirmation bias. You think you're weighing the evidence, you're not. You're shopping for evidence that confirms what you already believe. The University of Michigan ran a study and found that 70% of participants showed clear confirmation bias in their decisions, and every single one of them believed they were being completely objective. That's the trick. The bias feels like logic. Now here's where it gets darker. There's something called the anchoring effect. The first piece of information you receive about anything becomes a psychological anchor. Every judgment after that gets measured against that anchor, whether it's relevant or not. If someone tells you a jacket costs $500 before showing you one for $200, that $200 suddenly feels like a steal. Change the anchor, you change the decision. Researchers have shown that anchoring can shift decision outcomes by up to 40%. 40%. That's not a nudge, that's manipulation at scale. And it happens every time you see a sale price, a suggested retail value, or a real estate listing. Now add social pressure to the mix. A UCLA study found that up to 80% of people conform to group consensus when making decisions in a group setting. 80%. That means in a room of 10 people, 8 of them will bend their choice to match the majority, and most of them will genuinely believe it was their own idea. This is where the illusion of control steps in. Research published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that people consistently overestimate how much influence they have over outcomes. You feel in control, you feel like the author of your own story. But the data says you're often a character following a script written by your environment, your past, and the people around you. It's uncomfortable, but it gets worse. Meet decision fatigue. Over 50% of people report experiencing it. Here's how it works. Every single choice you make, from what shirt to wear to whether to reply to that email, drains a measurable mental resource. And as that resource depletes throughout the day, your decision quality tanks. Judges in a famous Israeli study approved parole 65% of the time first thing in the morning. By the end of the day, that number dropped close to zero. Same cases, different time of day. Tired brains default to no, default to easy, default to whatever requires the least resistance. And then there's neuroscientist Antonio Damasio's work, which flips everything you think you know about logic. He studied patients with damage to the emotional centers of their brains. These people had perfect IQs, perfect reasoning, and they couldn't make a simple decision to save their lives. Couldn't pick a lunch, couldn't choose a meeting time. Emotions aren't the enemy of good decisions, they're the engine. But emotions can also be hacked. Fear, urgency, social comparison. These emotional triggers get exploited constantly in advertising, politics, and even the way your social media feed is built. Psychologist Barry Schwartz proved that more choices don't make you freer, they make you more anxious. His research showed that when people face too many options, they experience decision paralysis, and even after they choose, they feel less satisfied. The abundance of choice becomes its own kind of trap. So here's where we land. Your brain is not a neutral calculator. It's an ancient machine running outdated software in a modern world, getting constantly manipulated by anchors, social pressure, emotional triggers, and its own exhaustion. You're not broken, you're just running the default settings. The people who understand this, the marketers, the designers, the architects of your digital environment, they already know all of this. The question is whether you do. Now you do. Follow to decode your mind every day.